Winning a championship in any football tournament is one of the primary goals for a team. Turning the championship into a habit is a dream shared by all fans, making it a perfect event that can spread happiness over several years. Today, we will talk about teams that have made winning a habit, discussing the longest championship streaks in football history. We will cover the top 10 leagues in Europe and, of course, UEFA competitions. Before we dive into our list, as a reward for the extensive research that went into creating this list, it would be fantastic if you could subscribe and join our community. Additionally, feel free to like the video and turn on notifications to stay informed about similar content. Enjoy the video. When it comes to the longest championship streaks, I want to start with the dominant force in Germany, Bayern Munich. After conceding the championship to Borussia Dortmund, coached by Klopp, in 2011 and 2012, Bayern Munich has been uninterrupted champions for 11 years since those days. No other team in Germany comes close to this record, and mathematically, it's not even possible. In fact, aside from Bayern, there is no team with more than 11 championships. Nuremberg, with the second highest number of championships in Germany, has only won the title 9 times. Perhaps for this reason, Germany's star system is quite different from other countries. Since no team in Germany, other than Bayern Munich, can wear more than 1 star, they have developed a unique system. They award 1 star for 3 championships, 2 stars for 5 championships, 3 stars for 10 championships, and every subsequent 10 championships earn another star. Following the dissolution of the Soviet Union in 1991, Russia, as its successor, established the Russian Premier League after the disbandment of the Soviet League. In the first decade of this newly formed league, Spartak Moscow, the capital team, clinched the championship in 9 out of 10 seasons. Only once did Spartak Vladikavkaz break this streak, leaving a 6-year consecutive championship run. This remarkable achievement has held the title of the longest streak in the approximately 35-year history of modern Russian football. However, this title might be at risk of changing hands soon. Zenit, strengthened in recent years due to significant investments, has emerged as a strong contender, securing the Russian championship in the last 5 years. Their victories have often been attributed to South American players. Still, due to the aftermath of the war, they have found it challenging to achieve championships as comfortably as before, mainly relying on local players. Currently, they are in a close race with Krasnodar. If they manage to become champions, they will share the record with Spartak Moscow. Similar to the Russian League, the Azerbaijan Premier League was established following the dissolution of the Soviet Union. The team dominating the league in the last decade, particularly in 9 out of the last 10 years, is Karabakh. They boast an incredible record of 7 consecutive championships. In the year they lost the championship, Neftchi Baku claimed the title with a narrow 2-point difference. Some may think that Paris Saint-Germain holds the longest streak in France, but that's not the case. Although Paris Saint-Germain has won 9 out of the last 11 years, they haven't managed a streak longer than 4 years. This is due to surprises like Monaco and Lille claiming the title in between. Despite having more expensive and powerful squads, Paris Saint-Germain occasionally loses the championship. The team with the longest streak in the French league is Lyon, which dominated the early 2000s. They secured 7 consecutive championships, making them the record holders. Interestingly, they don't have any other championships in their history. Their unique streak of 7 titles began with Juninho's arrival and ended with his departure. The 2 most successful teams in Austrian football, Rapid Wien and Austria Wien, are currently struggling to secure championships. Founded in 1933 and acquired by Red Bull in 2005, Salzburg has become the dominant force, clinching the title in every of the past 10 years and continuing to do so. They excel in both developing and selling players, and their squads, significantly stronger than the league average, allow them to comfortably secure championships, thereby earning a spot in the Champions League. This year, they are leading the league and are likely to become champions again, extending their streak to 11. The capital teams, with a total of 56 championships between them, seem unlikely to see championship glory for a while as Salzburg maintains its dominance. Similar to the German league, Serie A in Italy was once a highly predictable competition where Juventus enjoyed the thrill of 9 consecutive championships. Antonio Conte secured 3 of these titles, Massimiliano Allegri won 5, and the last one came under the management of Maurizio Sarri. However, economic challenges following those glory days led to a noticeable decline in Juventus. In fact, they finished 7th last year, and with the impact of having their points erased, they were excluded from the UEFA competitions, including the Conference League. In the last 3 years, Serie A has seen different teams claiming the title. This season, the competition is intense between Juventus and Inter. It's worth noting that both Inter, Torino, and Juventus have had distinct periods of winning championships, each enjoying 5-year streaks at different times. In the Netherlands and Belgium, we do not observe a single team dominating in terms of consecutive championships. In these two neighboring countries, multiple teams have shared the record of winning titles for 4 or 5 consecutive years. Starting with the Netherlands, Ajax recently achieved this feat, while in the past, PSV Eindhoven and currently an amateur league team, Den Haag, have also accomplished this. In Belgium, Racing Club Brussels, which is currently not active, and Anderlecht, the team with the most championships in the country, both have had 5-year streaks. This diversity in consecutive championship streaks adds an element of unpredictability to both the Dutch and Belgian leagues. In the pinnacle of football in England, there is yet to be a sole victor. I say yet because the teams with the longest consecutive championship streaks hold a record of 3 years, and the latest team to achieve this is Manchester City. If they secure the championship this year as well, they will surpass the other co-record holders and become the sole owner of the record. In fact, they have accomplished a challenging feat by winning the title in 5 out of the last 6 years. However, due to Liverpool breaking their streak, they cannot claim the record exclusively. The other holders of this record include Huddersfield Town, Liverpool, Arsenal, and Manchester United, with 2 instances. Huddersfield Town, which won 3 consecutive titles in the 1920s, approximately 100 years ago, was in the Premier League a few years ago. Today, they are struggling to avoid relegation in the Championship, which is now the second-tier league. In Portugal, considering that Benfica is the team with the most championships in the country, I was expecting this record to belong to them. However, it turns out that the team with the longest streak in the country is Porto. While Benfica has had several instances of achieving 4-year championship streaks, they have never managed to secure the title for 5 consecutive years. In fact, during the 1960s to the late 1970s, Benfica had an incredible dominance with 14 championships in 18 years, but it did not set the record. The team that accomplished this feat was Porto in the 1990s. In La Liga, there are 2 distinct 5-year championship streaks that contribute to the Kings team holding the record. The first one took place in the 1960s, and the second one occurred in the late 1980s. After the second streak, Barcelona, under the management of Johan Cruyff, secured 4 consecutive championships. In the 1960s, under the guidance of Miguel Muñoz, Real Madrid dominated, winning the championship in 8 out of the last 9 years. However, a brief interruption occurred when another Madrid team, Atletico, stepped in and put a halt to this long streak for a year. With a history spanning approximately 130 years, the Scottish League witnessed Celtic and Rangers both claiming the championship in its 108th year. The last time a different team became the champion, the calendar read 1985. It was Aberdeen, managed by Sir Alex Ferguson, who secured the title. Since teams other than Celtic and Rangers have a maximum of 4 championships, they have no chance of breaking the record. Celtic achieved a 9-year streak twice, and Rangers also had a similar streak once. Celtic, winning the championship in 11 out of the last 12 years, was on the verge of further enhancing this record when Rangers, under Gerrard, interrupted with a single championship in between. The longest championship streak in football history is shared by 2 teams, Skonto FC in the Latvian League, winning the title for 14 consecutive years, and Lincoln Red in the Gibraltar League, achieving the same feat. In fact, Lincoln's streak could have been 20 years. They won the championship in 19 out of the last 20 years. The only season they missed was when they lost to Europa FC by just 1 point. In the current league, with a few weeks played, they are in second place, but they are likely to become champions again. The other co-holder of the streak record, Skonto FC, is not currently a highly successful team. They dominated the Latvian league in its early years, winning the championship in the first 14 years after Latvia's separation from Soviet Russia. After securing 14 titles from 1991 to 2004, they won 1 more in 2010 but couldn't clinch another title. In 2015, despite finishing second in the league, the club was closed in July 2016 due to financial debts. We've covered the leagues in Europe, now let's take a look at UEFA competitions and other significant championship streaks. In Bulgaria, Ludogorets boasts a 12-year championship streak. Ludogorets already has 12 titles in its history, all achieved in the past 12 years. Thanks to investments made in the early 2010s, they have become the sole dominant force in the country. As expected, Olympiakos has a long championship streak in Greece. With a total of 47 championships, Olympiakos has more titles than all other Greek teams combined. Their longest streak is 7 years. In Switzerland, Basel holds the record. Currently struggling to avoid relegation, Basel hasn't won the championship for 5 years, but they own the longest streak with 8 years. In the Czech Republic, Sparta Prague has a 5-year championship streak, while in Norway, Rosenborg holds the record with 13 championships. In Denmark, including Copenhagen, 5 different teams have 3-year championship streaks. In Turkey, Galatasaray has a 4-year championship streak. While examining the longest streaks in local leagues, it's essential to also look at UEFA's competitions. In the UEFA Champions League, the 2 longest championship streaks belong to the king of the tournament, Real Madrid. They achieved a remarkable feat by winning the tournament in all 5 years of its first organization, a record that is challenging to surpass. Under the management of Zinedine Zidane, they secured championships in the 2016-17 and 2017-18 seasons, completing a 3-year streak. It's worth noting that other teams with 3-year streaks include Ajax and Bayern Munich. We must acknowledge the success of Spanish teams in European competitions. The most successful team in the UEFA Cup Winners' Cup is Sevilla, with a total of 7 championships. Sevilla also holds a 3-year consecutive championship streak. Under the management of the coach with the most UEFA Europa League titles, Unai Emery, they secured consecutive championships in the years 2014, 2015, and 2016. Yes, these are the longest championship streaks in football history. I hope you enjoyed the content I presented to you today. See you in another video. Goodbye.